Let me tell you a story about my friend Anansi. One day, Anansi sat with himself and pondered. I wish to own all the stories of the world. The thing is, those stories were owned by Yami, the sky god. But I must have it, Anansi thought to himself, and set out on a path to the sky god. Who's that there? Asked the sky god. It's me, Anansi. What do you want, Anansi? I want to own all the stories of the world, Yami. The sky god laughed. Anansi, many have come before you, mighty and wealthy, and could not afford these stories. Name your price, Yami. I can get it, said Anansi. I want Muburo, the hornet, Onini, the mighty python, Usibo, the leopard. No problem, Yami. I'll get them for you. Nancy set off to get the hornet firstly. He went and get himself a calabash and made a gourd and placed a small hole to the top. He went to the nest of the hornets and drowned them in water and wet himself as well. As the hornets flew out, he said, "You foolish creatures, why you all stay out in the open and get wet from the storm? Fly into this gourd for shelter." The hornets flew in one by one. As the last one flew in, Nancy covered the gourd with mud and leaf and made his way to Yami. The sky god said, "You still have 2 more for me, Nancy." "No problem, Yami." Nancy yet again set out into the forest and picked himself a long bamboo and pulled vine and went about to the house of the mighty python and argued with himself. "My wife is right. No, she is wrong. I am right. Yes, I am right. He is long and stronger than the bamboo." The python asks, "Why are you quarreling with yourself, Anansi? My wife said you are shorter and weaker than this bamboo, but I believe you are stronger and longer." The python said, "Don't worry, Anansi. Lay it down and I would measure." Let me make things easy for you now. The mighty python lay down beside the bamboo and he stretched from end to end. Anansi said, "I don't think you're reaching it, python. Stretch a bit more." The python stretched to the front and he stretched to the back. Anansi then said, "Every time you stretch forward, your tail come up. When you push back, your head come down. Let me help you. I will tie your tail to the end and you stretch to the front." The python agreed. Nancy tied his tail to the end of the bamboo, but he did not stop there. He tied from the end straight to the head and laughed. "I have catch you, the mighty python," and made his way back to Yami. "One more creature to go," said Yami. Yet again, now we head back into the forest. This time, Nancy dug a pit, deep and wide, and cover it with leaves and dirt, as fit not to be seen by the leopard. As the leopard make way on the path, he fell into the hole. Nancy leave him there now. Just husume overnight. Come the next day, he then asks, "Leopard, how you get yourself down in that big hole?" The leopard just say, "Help me please, Nancy." Nancy said, "No, you would eat me and all my children." The leopard promised, "No, no, 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 Nancy. I'll never do that. Just get me out, please." "No problem, leopard." Nancy pulled on the branch of a tree, bring it to the ground of the earth, and fasten it. with some vine. He then tied some more vine onto that branch and threw it down into the pit for the leopard, and instructed that the leopard tie the vine to his tail. The leopard did as Nancy asked and said. As he did this, Nancy released the branch from being fastened to the ground as it whipped into the sky. It pulled the leopard out of the hole. The leopard dangling upside down, head to the ground, spinning around and around. End up in a dizzy spell and pass out. Nancy takes some more vine, tie up the leopard, and take him to Yami, the sky god. And to this very day, after paying the price, all stories of the world belong to Anansi, the spider.
Wow, these fruits fresh, boy.
Well, it begins with good soil.
Good soil.
Yeah.
Impressive. So you don't just buy cheap and sell high?
Nah, I grow my own fruits and vegetables. This. Here one. Take the whole leaf now. And give me $16.
Okay.
Alright, so put the rest in there and I'll get your change. There you go.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That's all for today?
Well, honestly, I've been here so much times this month. I don't need to buy much.
I see. So seeing that you're so interested in my fruits, my garden is not too far from here. You could check it out if you like.
That would be great. Where's the garden?
It's down the road, near the Carmen Estate.
Your family is Viles?
Yes, my uncle was Mr.
Sir Viley. He
Yeah.
was such a mess.
Yes, Sir Viley. He was the hottest mess out there.
Whatever happened to them?
They died.
Oh.
You see, my aunt, she was sick. If being evil is a sickness. And she killed my uncle in cold blood.
Wow, I'm so sorry. What happened to their son?
They said he witnessed everything. And they say it sent him crazy. And as a result, they ship him off to that horrible institution in St. Anne's. Never to be heard from again.
Wow. I guess you're at the property now.
Yeah.
This might sound rude, but I never heard of Sir Wiley having any distant relatives.
That's because his wife never acknowledged them, nor me. And now, I have the entire land, the property, all the fruits, all the money. Funny how those things work out.
I guess. So why are you selling fruits? You could be on some expensive vacation somewhere.
My father's family, they were all fruit vendors. So why break the tradition?
But you could be doing so much more.
But I don't want to though. I mean, wait a minute. How you know about these scandalous Wileys?
I used to live on this street before the estate lands.
Oh, you mean by
Poor Man's Lane, yes. It was called Hut Street, actually. Well, it was nice to have met a Wiley at that. I never thought they made all that money from fruit vending.
Well, my uncle never really told us how he got his fortune. But doesn't matter now.
I guess not.
So?
Well, I should go. Hey, what's your name?
Call me CV.
C. Wiley.
Just C.
Okay, I'll come Sunday.
I'll see you then.
It's so beautiful here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I just like growing fruit.
So all this, you managed it yourself?
For the most part, yes. I may call in persons to help with the picking and pruning, but that's not every day.
In this day and age, it's nice meeting someone who likes to get their hands dirty.
Well, it's always been a hobby of mine. Oh, it's a family heirloom. We're really particular with people touching it. It's a weird trait, I know.
Okay.
But you know what? I have somewhere to show you.
Oh my goodness, can we go on, please?
Sure. Hop on and let me show you Wiley Estate in its totality. Are you ready? All right, well, let's go. Samra, you like the photo?
Is that you?
Nah, that's my cousin, Sean.
You look just like him.
Really? Nah. What's the matter?
I really can't say, it's just uncanny.
Anyway, we're here.
Where's here?
You'll see. So what do you think?
It's lovely. So your cousin, you see him at all?
My cousin? Oh, they said his mind is gone. He probably wouldn't even recognize me if he saw me. Wait a minute. You guys ever met?
Once or twice on the street, but we were children. You look just like him. But then again, I am the splitting image of my aunt.
So, do you like what you see?
Yes! Oh my goodness! No one has ever done anything remotely like this for me.
Of course they haven't. So let me ask you a question. You remember how we met?
Yes, I asked about your fruits.
That's right. You asked how I got my fruit so fresh.
Yes, good soil.
But you never asked me how I got it though.
Got what? The good soil?
Yes, actually. You see that compost over there? Well, let's just say it's my special mix.
Of what?
You see, my father, he used to work these lands. And he always told me, boy, good fruit always begins with good soil. Who would have ever thought that he meant it literally?
What?
You see, my father, he killed my mother right there. And then he gave me this necklace.
But that was your uncle. It's Sean with a C.
You should have followed your instincts. I mean, you really thought that I would have binded myself to a random girl I sold fruit to? Wow. But soon, you would be the reason why my fruit is so popular in the village. Good soil.
Hi.
Hi. And how can I help you today?
Oh my God. You look just like those Villies people.
Villies? You mean the Vileys? Yeah, actually that's my uncle.
Must be nice.
It is actually.
You always have the best produce. How do you get it?
Well, darling, it all starts with good soil.
Really?
Okay, so today we're going to show the process of how to grind the coffee beans that have already been roasted. Before that, they were in this stage where they were picked from the tree and they dry with the sun, and we had to pass it through this mill to take off the shell. I passed it through the mill 3 times, and I would fan out all the loose shells out of that while I blew, fan and blew, so that what remained would be these beans. Right? So this is beans not roasted as yet. After they were roasted, which is like here now, when they start to really smell the coffee, we put it in here and we grind it to the quality we want it to put to boil to make our fresh coffee.
Tobago is very unique in its culture. There are some areas in Tobago, cultural aspects which do not happen in Trinidad at all. But it's more recognized in Tobago. And growing up as a little boy, I learned quite a lot. I mean, you hear the people around my era talk about Jumbie and them kind of thing. You hardly hear about that in Trinidad. The traditions like, okay, Jumbies are supposed to be the spirits of their people who roam. And as I said, I believe in spirits, but not in Jumbie. But some people think that Jumbies are the dead after 3 or 4 days after being buried. When the body rises or the spirit rises, they roam the place and people see them. And there are actually instances of where people actually seen people who died walk around in the night, especially in the night among people. You see? I personally have not had that experience with growing up as a little boy, and my mother died pretty young. And I remember a couple of days after the funeral, I was in my bed one night and I felt somebody. I know she came in the room because she had a special perfume she wore, and the room was very strong with that perfume, and somebody they came and they held me down. I tried to scream, but I couldn't scream. And after a while, somebody just they were rubbing my head, and then the smell disappeared and it went. So I was telling my grandmother what happened. She said, "No, your mother was here last night. But I don't want to sleep alone after that." And then there are several instances of people who have died in the village, the spirits walk. I remember a young girl, she was about 18, 19, died up on the hill. And we, as young men in 18, 19, would go up there and lie under the street lights. And I remember one night we were up there chatting, and we heard a female voice, and they said, "Wait now, that and Joan who stand up there?" So I said, "Joan, was she dead? We buried she about 40?" And boy, in that winter, there was nobody. I ran for about half a mile from the spot on top of the hill down to Lambo in the bottom. Got home breathless, couldn't talk. My grandma asked me, what happened? And I couldn't talk. You see? And these are simple evidences of Jumbie. But what is happening is that the young people nowadays don't believe in that. The cemetery was always a place of fear. I remember as a child, 9, 10, my grandmother used to walk across to an uncle who lived over the other side of Lambo. And we had to bypass the cemetery. And certain things were taboo about a cemetery. You couldn't point your finger in the cemetery at all. You had to bite your 10 fingers as hard as possible. Good? And people believed that the cemetery was always a place where Jumbies lived. So it's a sort of frightful situation. And these are some of the things pertaining to the dead. I wouldn't say evil, I would say dead. Because I've never heard any stories of Jumbies doing anybody anything. You go in some places, for example, they said Jumbies lived in Silcotton Tree. And the Silcotton Tree is a very weird tree. It's the same tree that it is claimed that Gangang Sarah, the story of Gangang Sarah, who came across from Africa as a slave, and then she lived among the people and so on, and then she used to fly and go about the place, and then she ate salt, and when she tried to go back to Africa, she climbed this tall tree, and when she jumped off, she died. And that was from in the Culloden area.
We would love to present our very first Papa Boa Award for your excellence and dedication to preserving our culture and heritage through stories. May you continue to promote our folk traditions in Trinidad and Tobago.
Greetings, everyone. I just want to congratulate the Film and Folklore Festival and thank them for giving me this beautiful Papa Boa Award. Stories are extremely important. They can create an alternative pedagogy which can give to our society, in particular our children, the values and attitudes that are absent from the formal school curriculum. So once again, congratulations to the team that put this festival together. I want to say congrats to my own team and thank them, my daughter Dara Ijesuhili and my grandsons Iremide Shongubemi, Ekundayo Kayode and Ajani.
This was our childhood. Creativity at its best. This is a definition of Caribbean brought-up seat. These are our games: cardio, coordination, timing.
Ready or not, here I come.
And we always had time to tell our stories. Mama Glow was the beautiful, beautiful woman of the waters. She ruled all the rivers.
As a kid, growing up on this beautiful island, I can remember my mom teaching me how to dance. Step 1, step 2, escalate.
Keeping traditions alive is important for connecting one generation to the next. Traditions remind us that we are part of a history as we connect to our ancestors and place of origin.
So as we plan, Amy, you go the town. So you just tell them we're here now.
You see how you're nice and cute and chuffy and thing? Oh gosh, it's now she gonna say how Marjorie. Shoulda do you like she do me at 3 days old. Beating the sink with a seta bush. Yes boy, bush.
Oh, you see what going on? All them stories, all over the world. And it's the same thing. Different people. Boy, it's the same thing. Watch my good. Oh, you know me, right? It was me telling all the stories all along.
Thank you for joining us at our 3rd annual Film and Folklore Festival. We would like to thank our sponsors, our festival partners, you, the audience, of course. We hope that you got to look at our films. If you didn't, make sure download the Digicel Playgo app, and you have until the 14th of June to enjoy our films. We'd like to thank our crew, our administrative staff, and everyone that tuned in to watch. Thanks, guys. Bye.
My lady, your body is unnecessary. My lady, your body is unnecessary. My lady, your body is unnecessary. My lady, your body is unnecessary.
See, fine lady, your body is unnecessary. I'm ready. Anything that you want, I'm ready. Oh, yeah, link up, fire girl. Oh, supposed to give me body non-stop. One more tonjo, and one more tonjo. Spend the money non-stop. Fine lady, your body is unnecessary. Fine lady, your body is unnecessary. Oh, sorry, oh. Body is unnecessary. Fine lady, your body is unnecessary. Fine lady, your body is unnecessary. Oh, sorry, oh.
My lady, rora, take it slow. You got to take it easy on the boy. Mama, me go, look at me. Tinika, you savage, ooh. African beauties, your body is unnecessary. Fine lady, your body is unnecessary.